Good morning, guys. I hope everybody's had a great week this week. I am here to give you your Sunday school story. Miss Tanya misses you, and I can't wait to hug you, and we can eat cheesy popcorn together and just have a good time in the classroom together. But until then, I'll keep bringing you your stories and sending you your activities, and I hope you've been enjoying those. So we talked a lot about Jesus, and we talked all the way back from when he was born, some things that happened during his life. We talked about when Jesus died, how he was buried, how he rose again from the dead, and then lived 40 more days, and then he ascended all the way up to heaven. And that's what our lesson was about last week. So this week, we're going to go back to the Old Testament, and we're going to talk about some things that happened in the Old Testament. And this guy is who we're going to talk about today. His name is Elisha. I hope you can see him. And so I'm going to read the story to you and show you some pictures while I read. Elisha was a prophet. He told people about God. Elisha didn't have a home to live in. He was worried because he wasn't worried because he knew that God cared about him. Elisha went to a town called Shunem to tell the people about God. A woman who lived there in Shunem knew Elisha loved and obeyed God. She asked Elisha to come over to her house for a meal. Elisha gladly went to the woman and at her home because he was hungry. Elisha ate and talked with the woman and her husband. Soon they became good friends. Do you have a good friend? Do you have a good friend? I know one thing. I miss you guys, my friends, and I miss my school friends. But I have some great friends. And after they became good friends, every time that Elisha went to Shunem, he went to his friend's house. Every time his friends made a nice meal for him, and every time Elisha thanked God and the woman and her husband for giving him what he needed. One day, the woman suggested to her husband, Elisha comes here often, and he tells us about God. But when he comes, he doesn't have a place to sleep or stay. She said, let's make a room for him. When Elisha comes to Shunem, he will have his own home. The woman and the husband built an extra room in their house. I'm going to show you a tour of his room. Now, Elisha would have a place to live when he came to Shunem. The woman and her husband added furniture for Elisha to use. They carried a bed into the room. They brought a table and a lamp, and they put a stool in there for sitting. They probably put a water jug and a bowl so Elisha could wash himself. When the room was finished, this would be a comfortable place for Elisha to live. The woman and her husband could hardly wait to show Elisha. Guess what? Well, here he is. The next time Elisha came to Shunem, he went to see his friend as he always did. Imagine the surprise when they showed him the room they had made for him. He was so thankful that God had used the woman to provide a place for him to live. Elisha asked the woman what he could do for her in return for her kindness. Elisha wanted to help her because she had helped him. But the woman only said, I live with my own people. I have everything I need. This was her way of saying that she knew God cared about where she lived. She had a home and all the good things she needed. She didn't need anything else from Elisha. Elisha knew that God cares about where he lived, about the way God had helped the woman make the room just for him. And God cares about you. So I love these stories that we can read that talk about how God took care of somebody when they were in need. Anytime we're in need, God has blessed us with so many things and so many people around us to take care of us. So what a blessing, guys. I hope you enjoyed today's story and activities. Miss Tanya loves you and misses you, and I hope to see you real soon. Have a great week.